All your base are belong to us.
You're listening to Gamers Digest, a podcast where your hosts put the controllers down just long enough to talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else they can think of. Here are your hosts, Spider-One and Mr. Factastic.
Here we are, Gamers Digest. Wow, we're getting good at that. We can do it at the same time.
We're in sync.
Pretty soon, we will tell news stories that are actually fun to listen to.
Yeah. Was it a slow week? Sorta.
It wasn't. There was some big stuff that happened, but really, yeah. We're a gaming fan podcast, videocast. I don't know the quite word for us anymore because we're not really a podcast. But we're not famous on YouTube yet, so I can't call us YouTubers.
Nah.
So we're videocasters.
We're videocasters.
I think
We
that
talk about games. We like them.
right.
I didn't really play that many games this week, though.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm super busy.
Yeah.
Super busy.
Yeah, you're like never here anymore.
It sucks.
Yeah. It's not so bad.
But yeah, I've really been focused on this film festival that I've been working on or getting some stuff ready for. I shot about 50%, 50 to 55% of the movie already. The short film. It's going to be like 10 minutes long. And I already have like half of it already done.
Yeah, I was about to say you were out here filming for quite a while. So
yeah,
I don't know why you were filming in the kitchen for so long. Like for a while there, I was like, man, his short movie's gonna be like a cooking show.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like a Paula Deen joke.
It's funny because the kitchen scene I finally edited that probably yesterday. Yeah, I edited it yesterday, and it turned out pretty well.
Yeah,
despite all the
hiccups.
The hiccups that ensued. Yeah.
Yeah, the pizza that made people cry.
Yeah.
Ghetto pizza. That's okay. I mean, as a director, you have to learn to deal with those things.
Yeah, so. I know. I gotta be ready for it. And we're also podcasting or video casting today because I saw a movie on Tuesday.
Can you say what that movie was?
Wolverine.
Okay. I don't know what kind of embargoes or
NDAs
they make you sign for press.
I realized that I can't really talk too much about the movie until midnight tonight.
Wait,
I did like it.
So you can't give any spoilers, but does Wolverine use his claws?
He used them in the trailer, so yeah.
Okay. So you liked it. That's about as much as you can say about it, right?
Yeah, I liked it. It was cool.
I mean, I don't know why they would embargo it up until the release date because other reviews are already coming out for it. Like,
yeah, this makes sense, especially when the movie comes out. I think it was released in other territories earlier.
Okay.
So I mean,
it went to Japan first, so
yeah,
it makes sense.
It should like how it should have in the comic.
But nobody remembers it, and they grow.
Man.
I actually just read it's actually right. Well, I think that's just
Origin.
Yeah, the origin of Wolverine, which is like the big secret behind what really happens to him. Like not like him grow him as an adult, but like what happens is him growing up, like back in like the 16th century and stuff. So that was really cool. So I'm actually really excited to see Wolverine, but I probably won't actually get out to see it.
I want to say it'll be okay if you waited.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be okay. No,
Alright.
not so much.
I still want to see Pacific Rim. I think I want to see that more than Wolverine because Wolverine, I know what I'm gonna get Hugh Jackman snarling, stabbing guys, and then some kind of plot story that vaguely makes sense.
Yeah.
Pacific Rim, I think, is gonna be like Evangelion, and I can only hope it's that good without like raping my mind.
Yeah. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
So I actually did play. I don't want to say a lot of games, but I did have some game time, even with the baby. A friend started up a Minecraft server, so I kind of jumped into that. Started making a new town and everything that I dubbed Curtis Fell, like Winterfell.
Cool.
Most of the towers are built. I have no plans on dying at a wedding.
No.
But I'm finally digging into Minecraft, and I'm really enjoying the fact that if you know what you're doing, you could be very, very self-sufficient. Like these other guys on the server are like digging away and trying to get the best armor and stuff. Whereas I kind of went the other route. I went for like I tried to find food, shelter. I grew my own crops. So now I have like this whole farm, and then I have a big ass mine underneath. So I eventually got to the mining and stuff. So,
Cool.
but they were like trading me like high end stuff. Like diamonds are like the best material in that game, and they're like trading me diamonds for chicken eggs because they don't have any chickens. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I got like 30 chickens.
Wow. They can't steal your chickens, can they?
They can, but that Phil, the guy I work with who actually runs the server, he actually rented the server out. He's friends with like all of us mutually. Like he works with the other guys at Staples, so we all kind of know each other. So nobody's gonna grief each other.
Okay.
Or if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it in a funny way.
Okay.
So, but just to be safe, I have 2 chests hidden with all my good stuff in it
Okay.
that nobody will find. And if they try to find it and they find it wrong, the booby trap will activate, the lava will fall.
That'll be cool.
I'll lose the way I planned it out, and I haven't tested it because obviously I don't want to die. But I'll probably lose the bottom chest because the lava will burn it.
Mm-hmm.
But the top chest should still be.
All right. So the top chest has the best of the best.
Well, what I have, what little I have. So I did. I bought some games on the Steam sale. That was our deal of the week. Last week, which spanned a week and a half or something, or whatever it is, 11 days. So I bought some games. So I played a few of those, like Dust, the Elusive Trail, or something like that. It's like a side scroller. It actually really got me excited for DuckTales because it's like that kind of art style. It's like cartoony and stuff like that. And then I found out that like one guy made it. So
wow, yeah, I remember playing the demo for that for 360. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's blown me away like how artistic it is. And then I did Fez. I finally broke down and bought that, and that's pretty good too. It's weird, but it's okay. Secret World, I tried that a little bit, and Magic is the other one I played quite a bit. Which Magic is kind of like a top-down Diablo game where you have like 8 elements of magic and you can mix them together to get different results. And that's really fun with multiple people, just because of the fact that it's very realistic in the fact that friendly fire is on. You can like nuke yourself if you do the wrong thing. So like if you jump in a puddle and then you try to cast lightning bolt, you'll electrocute yourself and blow yourself up.
Yeah, that would. Yeah.
So like we had a couple of people running around, and one of the guys was the fire extinguisher guy. The other guy was like the lightning guy. So we could kind of plan it out. So
how big can your teams or parties get?
I think up to 4. We only had 3, but I think 4 is the max. So it's fun, and like I said, that was one of the few that I picked up for like $4 or something.
Cool.
So Magic. Yeah, not a new game. All right, so we do have some news.
Mm-hmm.
We actually have, like I said, some pretty big news this week and some pretty small news this week.
Yeah.
As we go, you'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, let's try something new.
Oh, nice.
The original designer for John Madden Football was actually awarded $11 million in a lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this briefly, like back when it started, how he was let go and then they kept continuing the Madden stuff.
Making basic like carbon copies of his original game, like
up
the
until
plays were still the same. Like I think until what 97 was it?
I think it was 97 or 98 when they switched to like the 3D, and that's when the lawsuit stopped. 11 million, man. I wish I could make one thing and milk it for that long.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that he started out in what 83 or something like that, 80 something. So I mean, there was a lot of time that he's been waiting for these royalties. But hey, at least he's getting them to begin with.
He's got a good lump sum that he can retire on now.
And now there's a question of whether or not the newer Maddens, he may have some stake in those as well.
Right. So we'll see. I mean, we'll keep an eye on it. But good job to that guy for 11 million.
Mm-hmm. And next story, The Sims. There's another. Hopefully, this is the last content pack for this game. I mean, this game's been around forever. And I'm waiting for the next Sims game, Sims 4. But it's Sims. You can go into the future.
Ooh. Let me give you a hint. Sims 4, playing it right now.
You could be playing it right now. You can meet your descendants. There's like storylines or whatever. You can, like all types of paradoxes that can happen.
We've all seen
crazy.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
We know how it plays out.
Yeah.
Not for me, because every time Nikki plays The Sims, I die horribly.
It happens. It happens. I mean, it's something pretty that I think is pretty fun. For the game.
All right, so EA. We've actually talked a lot about EA in the first 3 stories. EA, in terms of revenue, which for the uninitiated, revenue is how much money a company makes, not profit. Profit is overall how much money they've taken in. Revenue is basically how much money they're taking home.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as last year. They had no ups, no downs, which
pretty much flat line.
Yeah, and in this economy, that's not bad. Like ideally you want to go up.
Yeah.
But when you're the biggest, if not one of the biggest video game publishers, that's really not that bad.
No, not at all.
Especially with what happened to THQ over last year. That's a pretty. I'm sure the EA guys are like, well, we flatlined, but we're not THQ.
Yeah. So they don't owe all that money or anything.
Right. The former Eidos Montreal GM left Square Enix. He wasn't real happy with what's going on. He cited irrevocable. I forget how he put it. Basically, they could not come to an agreement. Like we talked about Square Enix. They last year they had a bad year. Mm-hmm. There's no other way to say it. They were down millions of dollars, and they've done all kinds of restructuring and stuff. And he had some ideas how to fix it. Other people had other ideas, and they just couldn't agree on it. So he said, "I am out of here."
Poor communication. He commented on the poor communication, stuff like that. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm through this shit.
See ya." Yeah. So I think what really probably got him is when they let the president of the failing company become the head of the board of the directors. So
yeah, that was pretty weird. All right. The Ratchet and Clank writer leaves Insomniac to pursue, more creative endeavors. He's not severing all ties because he's still working on the Ratchet and Clank movie, which is going to be coming out in 2015. So, I mean, it's cool that he's branching out. He mentioned he wanted to do more stuff with like writing comics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, more power to him.
Yeah, and I mean he's still got the Ratchet and Clank money bag for the movie. Mm-hmm. Which that's actually a screen from the movie. Yeah, more power to him. I mean,
that's pretty cool.
I'd hate to say that Ratchet and Clank may suffer for this, but their writing was good. I think somebody can pick that up.
It's not too hard.
All right,
Saints Row.
There you go.
This is the game I will be previewing next week. Saints Row 4 is up for reclassification in Australia. They have that brand new rating system there. Was it the first or the second game to get banned?
That was the first. State of Decay was the second.
Okay. So it was the first game to get banned. They've made a light, violent version of the game. So we'll see how that turns out. And it's something I remember when we first read about Saints Row 4, their complaint was like drug use and sexual violence, like some type
alien
of
anal probe.
Yeah, an anal probe. Come on, guys.
Aliens anal probe you. That's what they do. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, for it to be that uptight. I mean, we talked about
maybe they should use a little probing.
Maybe, but we were talking about how the stimulants were state of decay to be banned.
Right.
Stimulants. I mean, come on, it's like caffeine pills.
I mean, other countries are really weird about violence, kind of like how America's really weird about nudity. Like we kind of flip flop on that. Like America's like, oh yeah, shoot 'em up. Oh, half a boob. No. Whereas the other countries are like, no, don't really shoot 'em up, but here's a full boob. So
it's weird. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Yeah, I mean it's there's a weird noise back there. Maybe the baby is taking over.
In the next story,
Clementine. I had to find the saddest picture of Clementine I could find because there were so many other ones, like ones where she's like holding the gun when she like looked at me, and I was like, no, we need a sad picture of Clementine.
So she's definitely gonna be a part of Walking Dead or season 2. So that's pretty cool. And I think it mentioned something about another child or remind us reading.
Yeah, I imagine they'll probably bring another child into it. Probably, I would, if I had to guess, I would say probably one around the same age that had a different experience.
Okay.
So you can see how your choices affect her versus how somebody else's choices affected the other kid. So, and I'm sure the group from 400 Days will play a role in that as well.
That would be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing how that correlates to the game. Is that the gonna be the cast for season 2 or
right?
Or maybe they could be,
or at least the starting cast, because I mean, how you play 400 Days, and we haven't really talked about 400 Days all that much. But it depends on who leaves at the end and who goes with the girl. So you know, I imagine that's the starting cast, and it'll fluctuate throughout the season. This Walking Dead cast too.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I was waiting for it. Star Ocean. Star Ocean's probably one of the bigger RPG series out there. Not as popular as Final Fantasy, but still pretty good. Their next game actually isn't going to incorporate a card game into it as well. So to me that says money grab. Like that straight up says money grab. Like people are trying to get into this online CCG money thing, and I was a little leery about it, but it's going to be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be there. I mean, I don't like the combination of RPGs and card type battles. I mean, there's only one instance where I ever liked using cards for card battling in an RPG, and that was for the Dragon Ball Z RPG for Super Nintendo.
Wow, way back. How did you even do that? It was in Japanese.
I just learned it. Trial and error.
Well, this little squiggly line means he's good against Krillin. Yeah. Every squiggly line means he's good against Krillin.
I just trial and error, and I beat it.
Wow.
I had no idea what I was doing or what everything was being said or what was being said, but I beat that game. It was awesome. That's one of my favorite Super Nintendo games.
Yeah, I remember playing the RPG for PlayStation that was in Japanese, and that one was pretty good too.
That's cool.
So, we're gonna talk a little more about trading card games, and that's kind of why I put this story in, because really this wouldn't be huge. Star Ocean, but there is a new trading card game, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So
I think Phantasy Star Online, the third one, incorporated a card battle system, and that totally turned me off to Phantasy Star.
One of the Kingdom Hearts does that. It may be more than one of them, but I remember one of the Kingdom Hearts does that. So
remember when Metal Gear did that as well? I think Metal Gear Acid. That was card battle as well. So, it was like one of the first pieces.
All right, Borderlands 2. Probably one of my games of the year. Last year into this year. I mean, stuff's still coming out. Well, more stuff's coming out. More DLC is coming out in fall. They're gonna raise the level cap again. 11 more levels to 72. When asked why they do 11 levels at a time, he said because 10 just isn't enough.
That's pretty cool.
He turns it up to 11. So now you can go up to 72. There's also going to be some more DLC that they haven't really talked about. Little details here and there. It's not going to be part of the season pass, so you're going to have to fork over the money for it. But they said like the level increase and the little DLC is going to be like $5, so not too bad.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like this story. Battlestar Galactica writers is working with the God of War developers
for a new property. So it's not God of War. So this guy might actually get a job. Yeah. That's cool. I want to see something sci-fi out of the God of War developer.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I saw this story, I was like, I wanted to say finally.
Yeah.
You know, because as much as I've never played the God of War games, I've seen you play them.
Yeah.
I respect the God of War franchise for what it's done and like what it's accomplished.
Right.
I was like, I'm kind of tired of seeing God of War. Yeah, I'm like, let's see something else. Let's see them do something else.
Kratos.
Yeah, I'm tired of seeing Kratos. The cat.
The cat. Yeah. Yeah. So I believe it will be called the Robot of Fighting. And
Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, but it's like the same thing with Naughty Dog. They did Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and then they come out with Last of Us.
I want to talk about Last of Us. Actually, it's funny that you bring that up. And this might get kind of spoilers, so cover your ears. We both seen the end of Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of the ending? Like the ending to me, as I've thought about it, really like grows on me. Like at first I was pissed off because I'm like, no, that's not what I want, Joel. I was like, let her die, save the human race. But he couldn't do it.
Yeah, he couldn't do it, and you had no real control over it.
Yeah, I think that was brilliant because it was that moment. Like up until that point, you thought you were Joel and you thought you were the hero, and up until at that very moment where he kills the doctors, you realize that you're not Joel. You were just kind of controlling his actions. Joel is his own person. Joel is very messed up. And I hate to say it, but he is a sociopath, and you don't realize that until the very end. So, and I think they'll do a second one, and I think the second one's going to focus on Ellie figuring that out.
Well, I figured that Ellie was going to be the main character for any future story because, like, if you notice at the end of the game, you're not playing as Joel anymore.
Right.
You're playing as Ellie. Or like, and after he rescues her or whatever, he saved her. Yeah. After he saves her, even there's a little bit of gameplay where they're walking through whatever, and the player's not in control of Ellie anymore.
Right.
It's she's like following Joel and climbing, and then the cutscene kicks in where she talks to him like, "Hey, what really happened?" Blah blah blah.
And he just flat out lies to her.
Yeah, I mean, it's story like this is what I liked about Naughty Dog. I've said it before about how the Tomb Raider developers, they need to have good writers on their team to like really create stories that kind of stick with us. You said the story grew on you.
Right, and Tomb Raider didn't do that. Tomb Raider was very much the hero tale.
Yeah, just cut and dry. This is what happens. This is what we're going to do to solve it. We turn the game off and then it's done.
Right. Whereas
like in the Uncharted games and stuff, and like with Last of Us, it kind of stuck with you after the fact.
Right.
We're still talking about it. When was the last time we ever last time I had any type of in my face Last of Us stuff was like a week ago, week and a half ago,
right? So
I mean, yeah, good writing.
All right, well, a game that is not known for its good writing, Halo has a new entrance in its series. I love Halo, but I mean the story's nothing special.
No,
it's a super soldier fighting aliens.
Shoot guns.
Well, there's a new Halo game. It's out on Windows 8 devices. That includes mobile phones, but only if your carrier's Verizon right now. Obviously, it'll go to the other carriers. It's called Halo Spartan Assault. It is a top-down isometric twin-stick shooter.
Yeah, I'm surprised that this wasn't also released like on the arcade for the 360.
It may eventually. I can see it working its way there. Microsoft's tried to do this before with Halo. Like they try to keep it specific to Windows. They did it with Halo 2. Like Halo 2 PC edition obviously came out a lot later than it did on Xbox. But you had to have Windows Vista to play it. And at the time, Vista wasn't adopted very well. Even now, it's not adopted very well. So I think that's what they're trying to do with this. And they tried to do it with a couple other games, but they weren't as big named as Halo. So I know why they're doing it, and I've seen it on the store, but I can't bring myself to buy it. But from what I've read, it's getting really good reviews. So, if you're a Halo fan, twin stick shooter, check it out. Strider. This is a name we haven't heard for a while. This is yeah, it's an older franchise. It's going back to its 2D roots. It's going to be almost like a Metroidvania type game, and I'm actually excited for it.
Now, is this going to be an arcade game or?
I don't know. I don't think they said whether it's going to be. I would imagine it would probably be an arcade game, just because Capcom in general seems to only release Resident Evil and Street Fighter games, and maybe Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So yeah, because I mean, even their other properties like Devil May Cry and stuff, even though their names on it, they're still made by other companies. So
yeah, I think maybe in that article, I'm not sure. I think the guys that are doing the Killer Instinct game are working on it.
right.
So, and the
See,
Killer
there you
Instinct games with that free, it's the free to play for the Xbox One, but you got to pay for the extra characters.
If you want the good characters, the
Yeah.
top tier characters, you got to pay. So your brother was over, and we were talking about Skyrim and how I picked it up during the Steam sale pretty cheap. The Legendary Edition on PC, even though I have it on Xbox. I don't have all the DLC on Xbox, so I did want to play some of the DLC. But PC has all these mods.
Yeah.
Well, one kid, 19 years old, made a mod called False Car. I think that's how you say it. Skyrim always it has that weird Nordic twist to it. False Car. So he made this huge mod. It's got like 30 hours of gameplay.
It's like a third of the size of the map or whatever.
Right.
It's another continent.
It's got like 17 voice actors, which are actually good voice actors. Like most fan mod voice actors are pretty terrible.
Yeah,
it would be like me and you popping down and be like, "Hello, welcome to the winery." So stuff like that. But this is amazing. And when people asked him about it, he was like, "Look, I did this for one reason. I want a job at Bethesda." And honestly, I think they're stupid if they don't at least interview him.
They should at least interview him, or I mean, I'm pretty sure other developers out there, if Bethesda doesn't pick them up, they'll pick him up. I mean, he's got enough ambition, to be able to do this on his own. It's like 2,000 hours worth of work.
Yeah, and he said that his parents were very supportive. He's not going to school. He's 19, so he's not going to college because he wanted to do this. This was his grab at the job he wanted.
Yeah.
And obviously he has the skill set, if not to do it, to learn to do it.
Yeah.
Because anybody that could do what he did in Skyrim with False Car is amazing.
Yeah,
he's
it's
very
really
talented.
Cool. Over 20 hours of content. That's basically a DLC for a game. I mean, Bethesda. If Bethesda picked this guy up, this guy basically made a $15 DLC for them on his own.
Right. So it's gotten all kinds of news coverage. People are like, "Wow, this is amazing that somebody would sit there and do this." I actually think this is good overall for other PC games because they'll see what the modding community can do, rather than just make super curvy women with skimpy outfits.
Yeah.
Which there are a lot of those in Skyrim too.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for the Jurassic Park mod for Half-Life 2.
It's out.
Oh, it's out?
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, they did it. They did it in Source. So.
Wow.
Yeah, you should check that out.
I need to check it out.
State of Decay. We seem to talk a lot about State of Decay. Well, they confirmed that State of Decay, the PC edition, will be out by the end of the year. They'll narrow it down as it gets closer. So basically, you just gotta wait if you don't have an Xbox. I would honestly say if you have an Xbox, pick it up because it's definitely worth the money. Because I've played the crap out of it. But if you only have a PC, wait for the PC version.
Or you could also play DayZ.
You could. Honestly, I like State of Decay better than DayZ. Now, when DayZ gets a standalone, I may change that. But DayZ is open world almost to a fault. Like there is no limitations for DayZ. You have to go out, you have to survive. Whereas this, you have to go out and survive, but there's kind of structure to it. You need to find some survivors. You need to go build up your home. Stuff like that.
DayZ is more like Minecraft.
I would consider DayZ more like if Rambo was in a survival game. Like obviously there's a lot of survival to it. You got to eat, you got water, you got stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's no like home building. There's no base building. There's none of that. It's very much find as much supplies as you can and hold on to them as long as possible by killing everybody else around. Whereas State of Decay, you can't really do that. It's decaying around you, so you got to keep building it up. You got to keep finding new supplies. You have to know when to run, which you do have to do that in DayZ too. But it's I'd say DayZ is more on the personal survival level rather than like the base building. Right.
Humanity survival.
Right. So
Working together.
Yep. Pretty cool. All right.
New BioWare universe coming from the Mass Effect and Knights of the Old Republic team.
Yeah.
That's a new IP coming from the BioWare guys. That's pretty cool. I've been looking at Jade Empire on the Xbox or on live on the store, and I mean, they can put out some pretty good original IPs, and I'm looking forward to seeing something from these guys. So.
Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, both franchises are extremely good. So anything they put out, I think they'll probably go fantasy, maybe steampunkish, because they still have Dragon Age as kind of like their pure high fantasy. But I know they almost don't want to go sci-fi again.
Nah, because there's still another Mass Effect coming around the corner.
Right. So steampunkish, maybe fantasy, maybe modern day. We could see a modern day setting. So like I said, I've been playing Secret World, and that's all modern day, and that's cool. Like Secret World has a lot of problems, but it's really refreshing to play a guy in a button down and jeans, and my first weapon I acquire is a shotgun, and the first quest I have to do is to go find a guy in a laundromat and talk to him about conspiracy theories about the Illuminati. So it's different because you can only play an elf or a goblin or so long until you're like, okay, I'm kind of playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
So interesting. Final news story. Far Cry 4 details are coming soon. He didn't officially say Far Cry 4, but he said another Far Cry is coming. So it's probably going to be Far Cry 4. I don't see them doing a Blood Dragon again.
Nah.
Just because I think they want another AAA title. Like Blood Dragon did really well, got downloaded a bunch, made them a bunch of money. But I think they want to keep making new games to keep pushing it. So Far Cry 4, that'll be pretty cool.
Coming soon.
You can get ambushed by higher tech tigers. Alright, so we talked about the trading card game in Star Ocean earlier. Steam introduced their trading card system, and I talked about it before.
About it a little bit last week.
But when I talked about it, only 4 games had trading cards. When Steam had its summer sale, they bumped that up to 80 games.
Damn.
So actually 81 games, because 77 games got trading cards during the sale. Trading cards for Steam, when I first saw it, I was like, all right, this is kind of stupid. It's another thing. And then I realized that you get trading cards for just playing the games. Like you don't have to do anything special. You get basically, if there's 10 cards in a set, you can get up to 5 cards to drop at a time. And then you have to wait. Like there's a wait limit, and as more people play the game, as more people get cards, it'll unlock more card drops for the community. So it's kind of a loyalty program, I guess is the best way to say it. So if you keep playing Steam, and you don't have to keep playing the same game. Like if you want all the Borderlands 2 cards, you don't have to play Borderlands 2 until the card drops come back around. As long as you're on Steam playing something, it can unlock card drops for any of the games that you have.
Okay.
But the genius
and these cards are like deals or stuff.
What they are is that, like, say I'm playing Borderlands 2. There's cards for every other character, and then some minor stuff like the side characters.
Okay.
And they're just like trading cards, like baseball cards.
Okay.
Like
a Mordecai card.
Right, exactly. So the cards you get are random, and there can also be foil cards. The genius part of this is, well, let me take a step back. When Microsoft announced achievement points, everybody's like, oh, I can use these points to buy things. Everybody. And they were like, whoa, no, it's kind of just a number that says you're a huge nerd. Steam did it right. These trading cards you can resell. So
That's pretty cool.
like, say I have 9 out of the 10 Borderlands cards and I'm missing Mordecai, and you have Mordecai. You can pop Mordecai up on the community site for however much it's currently going for, because it gives you a nice little graph. It says, okay, this car a couple days ago was worth 30 cents, and now it's worth 3. So obviously resell it, and it isn't going to get you that much. Then I can go on the site and say, oh, there's a Mordecai card for cheap, and buy it.
Okay.
So it is what achievement points were supposed to be. And what's funny is I mentioned that I played Magicka, which I bought for $5. I made that $5 by selling trading cards for games that I didn't really care about. And like I said, most trading cards don't sell for a lot. Most trading cards, I'd say, go between like 16 and 50 cents. I did get a couple foil cards that sold for like $2 or $3 for just playing games that I would have played anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the more I hear you talk about it, I mean, it is pretty neat. I mean, it's not as vague as just a gamer score,
right,
or a trophy. You know what I mean? Trophies, I think PS4, if they embellish them a little bit differently, or maybe added to them more. Trophies maybe have more potential than the score. Right. You know, the score is just a dick measuring.
The E-beam, right?
That's really what it is. Oh, your dick's that big.
Yeah. You wish.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, I mean, I think Xbox and PlayStation really learned from this, because it's all community driven. Like if the community's not participating, it's not hurting anyone. And Steam, what's even better, and this is the genius part, obviously Steam's getting a cut from the trading card sales.
Of course, yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much. So like, say I put a card up for 10 cents, the buy price is like 12 cents. So Steam gets 2 cents. Obviously, the more you try to sell it, the bigger cut it gets, because it's percentage based. But it's not a huge difference. Like during the summer sale, you got cards for voting, and you got cards for buying stuff every certain amount. So I ended up with a bunch of cards, because I voted every time I could vote. And then I bought some stuff. And the threshold really wasn't high. It was like $10 per card. And you'd get a random summer sale card. So I ended up with I don't say a lot, but a few summer sale cards extra. I made, because the end game is you make a badge. And when you make a badge, you get some bonus stuff, like wallpapers, icons, avatars, stuff that PlayStation and Xbox is, shit that they've been selling for years for $2 or $3 a piece. Yeah, you get that stuff for, I don't say for free, but you get that stuff when you create a badge. Okay. So if I get 10 out of 10 Borderlands cards, I craft a Borderlands badge, and I get a Borderlands background, an emoticon, and it generally gives you 2 or 3 cards back.
You really feel like you're earning.
Right.
That's the sense that I'm getting. You're earning something.
And it's stupid to think that, because really it's all nonsensical, stuff. But it's stuff that, like I said, Xbox and PlayStation have been selling for years.
Yeah.
So it really kind of puts them to shame to say, look, we are not losing anything. We are making money on this. We introduced a trading card system for these people to just play games. Like they don't have to do anything funny. They just play it, and we put a cap on it so people would keep coming back, so they keep resetting that cap, and people are making money. We're making money. Nobody loses in this situation.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty good. That's a pretty good system.
Step it up, Microsoft and Sony, because Gabe Newell basically just punched you in the gut and said, "This is how you do it," just like he always does.
Pretty much. When are they going to release the console?
Steam Machine.
Steam Machine.
It's going to be a PC, but it's still, there you go. Yeah, I just had to do that little rant.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, more people, it's, like I said, when you first see it, it looks dumb. It's actually kind of complex, because, like I said, there's a whole badge system and blah, blah, blah. But if you actually sit there, it honestly took me about 5 minutes to figure it out. Once I actually
Okay.
sat there and said, oh, okay, there's 30 cards in the Secret World set. That one's going to take forever. But there's only 7 cards in the Magic set. So, and like I said, they balance that out. Like, Secret World has a lot of cards, but then you're allocated more drops. So, if I play Secret World for 5 hours, I end up with 7 cards. Whereas if I play Magic, I'll end up with like 1 or 2.
Okay.
So, there you go. Alright, so I said I started talking about our Minecraft, and a new game has come out. It's not even out. It's actually in alpha. It's not even in beta. It's in
Alpha.
It's in paid alpha, and it's called Cube World. And honestly, I think this might be the next big thing. This could be the next Minecraft, because it is like Minecraft in the way that it looks very cubey.
QB.
But let's play the video while I talk about it. So, as you see,
Yeah, it looks very reminiscent.
but this has a little more MMO RPG feel to it. Like, you level up, you have different classes. This is a mage fighting a Bulbasaur. It's not really a Bulbasaur, but it looks like a Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, all the worlds are randomly generated, and the even cooler thing is they're infinitely generated. So when you start a world, you type in a number, and that it uses math and generates the world. And you can explore forever. You can level forever because it will keep the mobs all around your same level. Like, obviously, you get better gear, you're gonna get stronger and stuff like that. So
it just keeps on going forever.
right. So infinite, and you can play with your friends. Like I said, there's 4 different classes. It honestly, like, there is infinite things to do it. There's a whole crafting system. You can't make your own house yet. That's kind of the separation from Minecraft. Like, you don't interact with the world that much right now, other than, adventuring, going through dungeons and stuff like that. You can get material and craft it, but you can't make your house yet. You can't do anything like that. So that's kind of where it separates
No
it from
digging or
right. It's all, and they do say that's coming. Like, I don't think digging will ever come, but the house building and stuff. So you can kind of create your own area. But there are dungeons, very akin to Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
And you can have a whole bunch of people on a server. You can go through dungeons and stuff. So that's pretty cool. The other cool thing is this is the weapon modding system, and as you add stuff to weapons, they get stronger, and of course they start to look different. So you can kind of, like, I saw one person take like a standard longsword and add enough to it that it looked like the Buster Sword. So that it's pretty cool. Like, I just started playing it a little bit.
I'm very intrigued by the infiniteness.
Yeah, that's honestly the coolest part. Like, it's infinite. I mean, you can go anywhere. The other system it has a pet system. Sort of, I don't want to say like Pokemon, but sort of like most other some of the other pet RPGs. Like, you get stuff, and you can tame a pet, and then from there you can invest points, and that pet can become your mount. But that pet always fights beside you. So most of the time you want a pet with you. So, like, here you're seeing him in a dungeon. He's sneaking around him. Now he's fighting. So it's very MMO-y, and even though it's not an MMO, like, you can play it completely single player because it's all, like I said, it's all personalized. So
no story really or anything like that.
No, it's still open world. It's a lot like Terraria in the fact that when you start a world, it just there, boom, you're in the middle.
Do stuff,
right? So, and you can
kill some time.
Yeah. So, but I played it a little bit with some other people. It's definitely a lot more fun with multiple people.
Yeah.
Because it's actually kind of hard. Like, it's very skill based. So, like, he's fighting a boss monster there, and like the range characters and stuff have it so rough because everything moves fast. Like, there's an active dodge system, so there's a good degree of skill in there. It's all manual, so no auto aim, nothing like that. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, Cube World, it's in paid alpha right now. I guess is the term that they use. Kind of like how Minecraft did. They're just gonna go to alpha
Okay.
and then beta and then so and so.
Okay.
Honestly, it's still pretty cheap. I think it's like $20, and if there's already it's already infinite, so there's already infinite stuff to do. The only thing to come is more.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to know how that works. Like, do you need a whole lot of memory or?
No, actually, the specs really aren't that bad on it. It's like 2 gigs of memory. It's you know, dual core. Like the PC specs, like you can run it off of integrated graphics because obviously there's not too much graphics, and there you can turn stuff up so it does look. It
Better.
never gets less cubey, but it
Yeah,
it does get sharper and look a little better.
contrast.
Right. The way it works is it's all math based, so it crunches these numbers and algorithms and stuff, and then it generates a terrain. And if you notice that even with your terrain set far, you can see pretty far, but it still kind of does one block at a time.
Okay.
So when you put that number in at the beginning, it generates the whole world, but it only really loads that one block at a time. So as you come upon the next block, it goes back to that number and says, okay, well, we put 43, so the next block would look like this. Like
Okay.
it's very complex but very simple.
So, and if you go back,
It'll still be the
remember
same.
That'll remember that number.
Right, and if say you're playing in France and I'm playing here, if we both type in 43, the world's going to be the same because it's math based.
Okay.
So we can play the same world even if we can't play together. I can say, oh man, if you go to these coordinates, there's this island with this dungeon with some cool stuff in it. You'll go there, same island, same dungeon, same cool stuff.
Cool.
So Minecraft's like that too. Like they have what they call seeds, and if you type certain seeds in, everybody will play that seed.
Okay.
Like
I think I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
the most famous Minecraft seed is if you type in North Carolina
Okay.
in it capitalized, right? Like and in C,
Mhm.
because that is the seed for the demo of Minecraft.
Okay.
So yeah, cool. No deal of the week this week. Everybody's kind of out of deals because the Steam sale was last week, so
Yeah.
everybody's kind of recovering from that. I do know there are some little sales going on, like Green Man Gaming has like a small summer sale going on, but really nothing major. Nothing's really coming out. So, did you hear that EA, I think it's EA, no, it's Activision. Activision has 7 Wii U games in development right now.
Activision.
Really? Call of Duty Ghosts is one of them, which puts the year's releases for Wii U up to 9.
Wow.
So, all right.
7 of them. Are they Are they Wii U only?
No,
Oh.
I don't think any of them will be Wii U only.
Well, that's.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
See ya.
I think that a little early.
Can they still hear us?
Yeah, I think you can still hear us.
Bye.
Bye.
Gamers Digest is a Spider One and Mr. Factastic production. All characters and games are owned by their respective companies and are used under the fair use law. Check out Gamers Digest at gamersdigest.me, on YouTube under Gamers Digest Podcast, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at The Gamers Digest. Viewer questions and comments can always be sent to gamersdigestpodcast@gmail.com. See you next week.